I like to think of the outcome-based grazing program as sort of a choose-your-own-adventure in the rangeland permitting world. We're grazing towards an outcome as opposed to grazing towards a prescription. And so we collaboratively build our definition of what that outcome is.
My full name is John Nicholas Schultz. I manage the operations. My wife and I manage the finances, and my wife and I do the day-to-day. I would say it is a true blue ranching community where there's not a lot of outside influences.
I'm Chris King. I grew up on this ranch and worked here as a kid. 95% of our ranch is still what I would call native habitat. It's the sagebrush grassland. Most of the ranch is still native range, and I think that's ideal for a cow-calf operation. In our old plant, we had specified turnout days and specified days we were supposed to move pastures. And you never know for sure in the spring what it's going to be like. So you start out and you brand a certain number of calves. You put them out there, maybe in June or July, you've already contracted for a fall delivery. So you're pretty committed. Well, then it turns really hot and dry. What are you going to do? You know, that's a problem.
In agriculture, you're the eternal optimist, always hoping for just a little more rain or maybe a little cooler weather. Every year, grass starts at a different time. There was one year it was just super early and everything was blooming. On the other end of it, sometimes winter doesn't start until February.
Most of our management decisions and things, actually, we're oblivious to whose land it is. We manage it all the same. We don't do anything any different on the public land than we're doing on our private land. We want to do the best we can with all of it. But with the outcome-based, you have a lot more flexibility than that. If it's a sweet clover year, then you can change your timing. So we're going to take advantage of that sweet clover right now.
And we can stay out grazing, which helps utilizing that grass different times of year.
We said, here's our ideal. We would like to run some pipelines here, and there. We're already doing some on the private, but some of these, to be most efficient, would cross BLM. So we were able to get all that worked into it, and it's all kind of checked off. So now going forward, we will do pipeline work each year as time and money allows.
By putting more water line and more water tanks in, then I can use electric fence to rest one part of the pasture and utilize another. And so having the flexibility, we're able to get a little more creative with the management. I think this is a long-term deal. It's allowed me to push my calving date back, and I continue to push my calving date back.
The rest rotation we felt was very beneficial. You do use each pasture each year, and by using all the pastures, that means you're in each one a shorter period of time, and having a shorter period of use and a longer period of rest. Water development, better range management, more forage. It's good for our cows. It's good for the wildlife too. So That was an easy step for us to do the monitoring, because it was something we were already doing, because we were wanting that information for our own use anyway.
It's fun to go out there and focus on a different management objective. Cheatgrass is an easy one, but we can always talk about too much club moss or conifer encroachment. And then the wildlife and how they respond to it.
We do have an outside, unbiased party looking at the range, so that as we go forward, we can verify whether the decisions or changes we're making are working. Because if they're not, we need to change.
You know, I think now it's paying dividends because the ground is recovering and there's so much shade out there this year that we're going to be able to graze into February and possibly March. And that gets into a whole different economic structure.
Generational ranchers like our family, we have, I think, a very genuine emotional attachment to the land. I'd like to think that we do a good job of taking care of our private land, and when we're managing the public land within our fence, I'm hoping that it's a good opportunity for this life to continue for our children and hopefully our grandchildren